the regimental group, they've reconstructed these huts based on what we found with the archaeology. And what we originally, when we put this trail in, we didn't have the huts here, and visitors, I don't think they really had a good idea of what any of this looked like. And there's a group of reenactors they did tent reenacting for us starting about 10 years ago here, and they asked me one day if they would be interested in having them build a couple of huts, and I was like, that would be awesome. So we picked this spot. This is one of the loading decks for when they did the trusted logging in the woods here back in the late 80s. And so this area, it's not an area where there are actually huts, but it's in between these sets of camps. There's another 3 camps that way, there's 1 camp back that way, and then another camp in that direction.
When you say that there's 3 camps that way, does that mean there were 3 regiments there at the same time, or just 3 places that they were at different times?
No, they were all here at the same time. Okay. So I mean, that's the kind of cool thing is we've got these 5 regimental camps that were all occupied at the same time, and McGowan had 5 regiments in his brigade.
How do you tell where one camp stops and another one starts?
It's basically, you've got, by looking at the depressions in the ground,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how these camps would be laid out is you've got the huts that would be laid out by Cookman Street. So, and I'll show you this when we get back to the camp, but what marks these huts is the depressions in the ground. Those are borrow pits that use for getting the clay to daub up the structures.
Uh-huh.
But one thing that when they were camped here, one thing the troops were basically under orders for was to be able to rapidly deploy in the event of the Union Army crossing the Rapidan River. And so one thing we're interested in studying when we got a grant from the American Battlefield Protection Program to basically map in the layout of all these camps, not only where they were in the woods, but also the organizational layout. And what we found is when we were out doing the surveys, is that the depressions were basically in these linear lines, and what these form are company streets. And the purpose behind these company streets is, one, to keep all the troops in their order that they would be in, in terms of a military unit. So if you're living in one of these huts, you're living in a hut with the same people you're going to be